Hi, my name's Matt Bisogno, and for those who don't know me, I'm the founder and creator of gg's.co.uk, which is a horse racing website. More materially, in this context, I'm 1/3 of the team behind Tennis Profits. I'm not a tennis expert by any stretch of the imagination. My job is really around the data and I guess the software build. And of course we have Paul, who is a tennis trading expert, and Steve, whose Goal Profits website runs parallel to Tennis Profits and is kind of the blueprint for what we do at TP. The reason I wanted to record this video for you today is because I guess I'd call myself an amateur enthusiast when it comes to tennis, and since I've been involved in this Tennis Profits project, I've got a lot more interested in the data side of it and in betting on tennis. I'm not really a trader. My horse racing background means I like to bet, I like the action, and obviously in that sphere I've got a lot more experience and I hesitate to say expertise, but I'm definitely more familiar with the subject matter, and I've got great data there, of course. We've got great data at Tennis Profits as well, and Paul will show you repeatedly how to use that to trade successfully. But what I want to do in this video is, as an amateur and as an enthusiast, certainly not as an expert, please, I want to lay that out right out at the start. But I want to show you that you can use this data set to find some really good bets and some value prices as well. So that's what I'm going to be doing in the next few minutes, and that's quite enough of my ugly mug on the screen. Let's go over to the website and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's start with a bit of my recent Wimbledon betting history. This is my Bet365 account, and I use 365 because this wonderful ACCA bonus that they offer, and I will show you why that's wonderful in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to keep going down to here. Oh, I want to show you this one actually to here. So let's be clear right from the outset. Not all bets are winners. I know that's a sort of a moment, but of course, you know, like I have losers like everybody else, but this is about, can you make a profit? Can your winners pay for your losers and leave something on the table? So this, for example, was I think this is pretty much the first bet I struck. Is a very ambitious 18-fold. You can see that almost all of the prices are super short, and I think from memory they all bar one. Just looking for the loser here. It was her catch. So I'm pretty sure that that was So you can see that they all won. Bencic lost as well. So that was the start. Anyway, started with a loser, and but yeah, as I say, you know, that's kind of par for the course. And then after that, one of the things that I really like about 365, as I say, is this ACCA bonus, and you can see here I got a 45% bonus here on this bet, and I'd put 11 matches in here. Now you can see that the prices of the second shortest price in here, the second longest price was 1 to 10. And they were all the others were shorter than that, including 1 to 150 Novak Djokovic. And the reason I do that is because if you put 2 in the bet, 365, if you're eligible, will give you a 5% bonus. If you put 3 in, they'll make it 10%. If you put 4 in, it goes to 15, and so on up to, I think, 14 and a 70% bonus. So I settled on just the 11 here. And what I was trying to do, what I've basically done is the data on Tennis Profits pointed to Katarzyna Kawa being a value bet at 4 to 1 and I, in one of the videos that I recorded for my readers and viewers, I kind of stumbled upon this match really. But anyway, she won, and obviously her opponent was very short, was about 1-6 I think, and Carver beat her. But what I end up with is I've bet a 4-1 winner, and you can see I bet £10 and I returned £93.80, so I've essentially got 8.38 to 1 about a 4-1 winner, so more than double. Now of course any of these shorties could get beaten, but they're priced at these unfathomably short odds because they're perceived to be just about certainties. And again, the reason I'm putting them in there rather than just betting Carver as a single is because of this bonus. So I've got more than 8-1 about a 4-1 shot and a bunch of near certainties, not certainties but near certainties. And that's an approach that I think is very playable, regardless of the sport that you bet in, and regardless of whether you bet or trade. We're all looking for value. If you buy stocks and shares, if you're into crypto, not a great play at the moment, but sit tight. I think if you're in one of the sort of blue chip coins, regardless of where you speculate, the key is value. And if you can get 45% uplift on a bet like this, then that's got to be, whether it wins or loses, that's cracking value. And in the long term, that's going to give you every chance to come out in front. So there's some horsey bets here. And then we've got another one. This is a bet from a couple of days ago that only completed yesterday, I think. So what I did here, these B's mean banker. So basically this was, you can see there, eight bankers. So all these B's had to win, plus any two from the other four. So these top four here, any two of those winning with the bankers, and then they're essentially tenfolds. So 8 bankers plus 2, 8 plus 2. 6 bets at £3, and all the bankers won, thankfully. Actually, I think Berrettini was a void bet because he got COVID. And indeed, Bautista Agut has had COVID as well now. But that was in the next round. So essentially these were the bankers, and then these were the 4 on top. And Klein looked like he might win but didn't. Harrison did win. She won at 11-4, which is a great price. Cocciaretto didn't really turn up. She's better than she showed there. And Medjedovic, who I'm going to return to, he won his match as well. And that was a challenger match. So these were all at Wimbledon. This was a challenger on the clay somewhere in the world. Don't really need to know where these places are. That was a small profit on that bet. And this was only 3 out of 4. So this was linked. This was the same 12 players, and this was a losing bet here. So I didn't get 3. I only got 2 of these 4. So that was a loser. And this one, which was all of them, was also a loser. And then we had this bet here again. So this is the same as the Carver one earlier, where it's just a bunch of near certainties and a value odds against shot and the ACCA bonus. So this one was 13-fold this time. So we've got all these players again very short, and a 1-7 in there, very daring on me. But all the others shorter than 1-7, and then this 11-4 at the top. And this time there are 13 in the bet, so it's a 55% ACCA bonus. Worked out slightly less because Berrettini ended up being a COVID non-runner, so that was void. That leg was void. But still, again, so it was just a £7 stake, and it returned just about £70. So that's 9-1 on an 11-4 shot. And some certainties, pretty much. It bears repeating. It only takes one of these to have an off day, and it's a losing bet. And if your odds against chance has won and the others have all lost, that's frustrating. But that's the name of the game. I'm happy to take 9-1, about 11-4, and some near certainties, and take my chances when it goes against me. So that was another one that, very nice return for one bold opinion here. So those were up to the 28th, and then in the last 48 hours, let's have a quick look here. There are some losers here, by the way. So let's have a look at those. We mustn't shy away from such things. We start with a winner. This was a 9-fold. And again, well, actually, I've taken a few more chances here. A couple of 1-5s, a 1-3. And my mate Medjedovic again in here at 8-13. So again, they're all Wimbledon except this guy, and he won his match in straight sets today. And I'm going to talk about him in a minute when I stop showing you bets and start telling you about how I landed on this player. But yeah, again, the key is there's a 35% uplift on this. It's a £14.5 bet that pays 70, so 4-1 basically. And there's an 8-13 is the longest price, 1-3 is the next, and the rest are 5 on and shorter. So I'm getting 4-1 about that, which is remarkable. This is when it goes bad. So this was the old 8 bankers plus any 2 from 4 bet again. Unfortunately, somebody didn't read the script. No, sorry, this was a winning bet. Sorry, I beg your pardon, this was a winning bet. So Serenko won, and Medjedovic won, and all the bankers won. Halis was in his match. Kentan Halis was in his match. Marta didn't turn up, and that's obviously that's what can happen. The 3 out of 4s and all of them didn't cop. And I just wanted to show you. Maybe they're unsettled still. Yeah, they must. Let me show you these because. So these are losers. They're not settled yet, but they're losers, and the reason they're all losers. This is any 2 from 5, 3 from 5, 4 from 5, and 5 from 5, plus 7 bankers, and unfortunately, one of the bankers, Pliskova, got beaten. So that was that. So as soon as a banker gets beaten, the whole ticket is dead. Now, as you can see, there are a few X's on here. That this hasn't gone well. The other ones, I want to be against Tsitsipas. He actually played really well today, and Thompson not so well. So that was a chance I took. Kukova played okay against Martic, lost in 3. Harrison did not turn up against Tomljanovic, who can be a great grass player on her day. And Yun Song Chong lost. That was a challenger match, lost in 3 sets quite late on. Anyway, the key here is that I got a bit bold, having had a few successes, and this was a sobering reversal. So these bets collectively lost about 70 quid. But you've seen on the winners that I've copped, I'm probably 200 up on those bets this week. So that's good. Let me show you what I look for and how I do it. So the place I start normally, let me just pull up the page a second. Actually, that's not the page I want. So the place I start is the trading stats report, and that looks like this. Now there's a whole bunch of let me just make that a bit smaller. There we go. Hopefully you can still see it all right. There's a whole raft of data on here. I'm not going to talk you through all of it. What I will say is there are some configurable components at the top, and I set it up on today's surface last 1 year, and then I choose these tours, and then I go and look separately at the Challenger Tour. I have highlight dominant player and show breakdown selected, so if I just take those off, you can see it's a much cleaner report. As soon as I highlight the dominant player, that tells me this plus 14.5%. That tells me that this statistic is dominant for this player, and by this amount of percentage. So in the case of Cressy, service hold, he has a 93.1% service hold, and that's 10.5% better than his opponent on that particular statistic. If I click this, I always select the show breakdown because I want to see how many times, how many elements are involved in that data set. So in this Cressy example, that's based on 173 service games, and he's won 161. He's got a absolutely phenomenal serve. So one of the things that I'm looking for is a strong serve, so particularly on grass, where that's a very powerful attribute for any player. So the first thing I do is sort by service hold, and we can see, unsurprisingly, that John Isner and Maxime Cressy are kings of the hill in this regard. We can also see that their serve dominance has masked a multitude of sins in terms of their return game. You can see that these are colour coded. So Isner's return points won is a very low 28.4%, and his opponent holds serve nearly as often as Isner holds serve, regardless of who the opponent is. So, I mean, Isner against Murray was absolutely outstanding, and on his day, he's pretty much unplayable, as he was against Murray, unfortunately for Andy. But he has days when he's not unplayable, and when his serve goes to pot, there's not much else there. So he's not one for me. I'm very apprehensive about these red numbers. In fact, sometimes the place I start is with the opponent hold and looking for a low number there with a strong serve. So Jabber is immediately of interest to me. And what I can do is I can click in the row to see who she's playing. She's playing Diane Parry, French player. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the little I, and that's going to take me to the match stats page, and that's what I'm interested in. I want to see how they match up against each other. The things that I'm looking for their current rank. Now this rank is the official rank, and it's based on all performance in ranking tournaments on all surfaces, and you can see that both Jabber and Parry are currently sitting on career high ranks that they were awarded recently. But I'm very interested in our own Tennis Profits surface rank, particularly on grass, but on all surfaces really. And we can see that Jabber is ranked number 5 on grass in our world. This is our algorithm, so it's kind of unique to us. It's based on the official ranking system, plus a few tweaks that we've added in, and we're quite happy with it. You can see that there's a strong differential between Jabber and Parry on the surface rank. The next thing I'm looking at is recent form in the last 10 matches, and you can see here that Jabber is 9 wins and 1 loss, and Parry has a very impressive 8 wins and 2 losses. And then we can look at when and where those matches were played. In the case of Parry, we can see that prior to now she's only 19, so prior to this year she played Wimbledon Juniors 3 years ago, so she was 16 then, got to the semi-finals. Pretty good effort. She played a lower ranking grass tournament, this G means grass, in the run up to Wimbledon to warm up, and she did okay. She got to the semi-final, and you can see that she beat players ranked 382, 183, 109, and then lost to Sarah Irani, who is now 2-1-3, but has been a very good player historically. At Wimbledon, she beat Kaya Kanepi, ranked 38, and May Hontamar, ranked 139, but kind of dangerous on her day. So she's in good form, but Jabber is really at the prices, she was my idea of the winner of the women's. I backed her at 9-1. She's about half that now. Bully for me, but I mean, I think I kind of feel like Swiatek is a little bit vulnerable on grass, and maybe it won't be Jabeur, but somebody at a price might be playable, particularly in the other half of the draw to Swiatek. Or even if you believe, like I do, that Swiatek's vulnerable, then you can take a player in the same half as her, perhaps in the other quarter to her in that half, if that makes sense. Anyway, Jabeur played in Wimbledon last year. She got to the quarterfinals where she lost to Sabalenka. Sabalenka was the 4 seed then, when Jabeur was the 24 seed. Note that she beat Swiatek on the way through when Swiatek was the 9 seed. The 9th ranked player in the world. Right now, Swiatek is ranked number 1 in the world, and Jabeur is ranked number 2 in the world. So this was, this was a good match for the future. And you can see that Swiatek won the first set, and then Jabeur rolled her over after that, basically. Warming up for this, Jabeur won her warm-up tournament in Berlin. She beat the 80, 169, 38, 13 and 17 seeds. Corey Goff, interesting player. I think it might be a bit early for her, but she's definitely got a future. And then this week she's not had any problems so far against a couple of players ranked in the hundreds. She's a short price to win this match, and I expect she will win it. But it's important that we look at the specific data. So these are the players' statistics based on the filters I've selected, which is the grass surface main tour, so that's WTA in this case, and the last 2 years. And we can see that Parry has only played 2 matches. This Veneto Open was on the Challenger. It's not a main tour tournament, whereas the Bet1 Open is a main tour tournament. So Jabeur has a lot more data in her, a lot more matches in her data set, which makes predictions a little bit difficult. Now it's quite interesting to note that just on these 2 matches, Parry actually has a slightly stronger return points won, a much stronger breakpoint save percentage, stronger breakpoints won percentage, and a strong second serve. And this statistic is a very important one for us, predicted holds, and she's a she's a slightly better there as well. So that kind of tempers my enthusiasm about Jabeur. I still think Jabeur will probably just outclass her, but I might be more inclined just to leave this match alone rather than include it on the ticket. And this is one of the things that the data can do for us. Is it's not always about just confirming the matches that we want to bet, but sometimes it's about something getting flagged up as caution advised. And in this case, I do believe Jabeur will win the match, but I don't want to bet her at 1-12 or thereabouts, knowing that her opponent, albeit on just 2 matches, has performed very well. Because we need to keep in mind that those 2 matches were against the world's number 38 and 139. So that's that, and then I would go through these matches and I'd be picking out the ones that were of interest to me. What I normally do is look at WTA and ATP separately. I just want to show you this guy, Medjedovic, because I think he might be one to keep on side. One of the things that we can see with this data is we can see players who are essentially fast tracking to the top of the game. Now this is the game. This is the matchup today. The Ludenscheid Challenger on clay. Medjedovic, you can see he's 18 years old. He's playing a 29-year-old. Medjedovic is ranked 395 in the world. His opponent 191, and surface ranks are similarly in Horansky's favour, the opponent. But if we look at recent form, the last 10, in fact, why don't we look at the last 50? We can see that Horansky's got a very serviceable 48% record, 124 of his last 50. Medjedovic has won 35 of his last 50, 70%. And if we go back down through here, we can see that he was a bit left and right to begin with. So remember, he was only 17 years old at this point. M15s are the lowest level tournaments. Got to a semi-final there, got beat. Then went to the French Open Juniors, and since then, November, he went to an M15 and got to the second round, and then second round, and then this year, M15, got to the final and won 6-0, 6-love, 6-1. Didn't drop a set in the tournament. Then got to the final again, so he's won this tournament. Then he won this tournament the next week. And he's ranked 577 here, then 548. And then he's gone up a level to M25s. So these are slightly stronger competitions. And he's won this tournament. And again, he's not dropping a set. Rank 494 now. Now he's gone into challengers. This is up another level. And he beat the 112 and the 242. Remember, he's 453 at this stage. Lost to the 203. Didn't do so well in this challenger. In fact, he won his first match, and then this is a walkover, so he actually didn't play this match. And then he turned up here, and he's not dropped a set again, and he's now 395 in the world. He's just beat the 191, and the 191 was actually winning a few matches himself prior to this. So I think this Medjedovic, just 18 years old, definitely a clay court player at this stage. He's one to follow. I'm sure he's going to be in the top 100 before too long. He's just winning tournament after tournament, albeit at a low level. And I've never heard of this bloke a few days ago, but with the benefit of this data, it's quite easy to spot these players. That's one of the other things that I think is really cool about this. You kind of like, if you found let's use a horse racing analogy because that's something I'm familiar with, but if you found a horse that was winning in low grade and a little bit overlooked by the market, and you kind of knew that the background data supported his ascendant profile, that's quite exciting because you want to kind of stay with that horse. So I want to stay with Medjedovic. He won't win all his matches, and he won't necessarily always be a value price, but he's just in a winning groove at the moment, and nobody's getting particularly close to him. So he's the sort of player that I definitely want to have on my side when I'm looking to put together an ACCA bonus proposition. So that was really all I wanted to say. I hope that a couple of things in closing. First of all, I'm absolutely not intending for showing the betting slips to be gloaty, because I'm not, clearly I'm not in a position to do that. I'm not an expert. I'm an enthusiast, and I'm getting into it, and I'm using, the data makes it very interesting, and you can watch some matches on 365 as well as other places, and that's pretty cool as well. So I'm really, when I have the time to engage with watching matches, I'm enjoying it. But what I'm doing is I'm generally spending kind of 15 or 20 minutes in the morning picking out my bet, putting my bet on, and then seeing what happens. And I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying that process, and I'm learning as I go along. I've got a lot to learn, and obviously I recognise that. But we have such great data here that we can, you really can feel quite confident. Like when I was backing Carver the other day and Harrison, I really felt like that they could be the stronger player in the match, and yet they're 4-1 and 11-4 in a 2-horse race, 2-person race. So that's the betting side of it. That's working for me. Maybe it works for you if you're a bit time poor, or betting suits you better than trading. But again, I definitely want to underscore the fact that Tennis Profits is a trading site first and foremost. That's its primary purpose. Paul is a fantastic trader. That's his job. That's his profession. And he's a brilliant teacher as well. And if you join in the chat room sessions, you're going to get a huge amount from those. So please do try to make time available to watch and learn. And if you are a better as well, or instead of, then hopefully this has given you some ideas to kind of have a play around and have a crack. Okay, that's enough. I'm going to go away and see who I might back tomorrow. And this is Matt Bisogno saying thank you very much for watching. Good luck with your Tennis Profits trial or membership. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.